Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, I hope everyone is doing okay. This video is low-cost food that is not too cheap. So we all want to save money, and low-cost food does cost less. But if it's too cheap and you can't stand eating it, that is not good. So, okay, low-cost food that is not too cheap. All right, I decided to go back on the carnivore diet for a few days because I realize I feel so much better. So what I will probably do is go on 3 days, maybe 4 days, just as long as I can stand it. And then, I'll go off for a little while and try to go low carb. So, okay, for the carnivore diet, it's meat. So I ate one piece. That's why it's gone. The thing about the carnivore diet is you're not hungry. So I had some kind of roast in the freezer. So this is one good thing about the carnivore diet. It's easy to make meals. So all it is some kind of beef that I had in my freezer, and I just this wasn't the tenderest beef I ever met, but if you bake it a long time it gets that way. So Aldi's, this is the second thing I made. I have been liking Aldi's. For one thing, I find this beef stock to be good. All right, so okay, we want to conserve money on food. So one thing to do is stop wasting. I mean, everybody knows that, but this was a ½ pound, so this is enough for 2 meals. And then I will just probably save the beef broth. I poured too much in, so I think I'm just going to I did bake it, and I could drink this or make something else. So the beef was pretty good. It wasn't the best beef I ever ate, but it's good enough. So one thing I discovered is when I am sick of the carnivore diet, I can just eat cottage cheese or dairy like this kefir. So it's not exact carnivore, but in my case it'll do because I want to get rid of the sugar problem, the sugar and carb problem. Okay, one of the reasons that wasting happens is the food is packaged in a way that makes us buy more. And the reason they want us to buy more is so we spend more. So, it's like a big bunch of bananas. You can buy them one by one. A bag of apples or a bag of fruit, which is good. But if it's more than you can eat, then a lot of times it just goes bad. So one thing I found is these small cucumbers are a little bit more expensive, but you can just 2 for. So then this is what they do. There's 7 days a week they give you 6 cucumbers. And then I also started buying the tomatoes. Ralph's has good ones, and so then I found the one that has the biggest package. So lettuce is harder because a lot of times the lettuce will go bad. So what I found is the romaine lettuce is probably the cheapest. Okay, so the idea of this food going rotten is they want to sell us more. So they package it in a way to make it more than, well, you can eat it or freeze it, but a lot of times, like lettuce, it just goes bad. Or like I don't like half a tomato or half a cucumber hanging around in the refrigerator. Okay, I bought the 2 notes was the most full, like the little container, or the biggest, But if you have a family, it's probably one cucumber is $1 now. So the 6 cucumbers I got for $2.99 with $1 off at Ralph's. And then I got the biggest plastic thing of tomatoes. Okay, and then what I'm trying to do is I don't want leftovers, so I'm trying to prepare so I know tomorrow I'm going to be on the carnivore, my meat is ready. That works best. And then I have cottage cheese and I have kefir, so I have eggs, I have bacon, that's cheap. Prepare food portions like a restaurant. So when you go to a restaurant, they give you a plate of food. They prepare it like a portion of meat, a portion of carbs, a portion of salad. So I want to create these healthy meals where I prepare my meals. They're one meal. The bodybuilders are very successful at this. They get their little plastic containers and they portion out their meat and their rice. So I usually eat about 4 ounces of rice. Hello Fresh used to give us 5 ounces, which is really generous. So that would be just under 1/3 pound as opposed to a 1/4 pound. And then, so watch out when you prepare your food so there's no leftovers so you don't waste. You know, fixing food where the leftovers like the meat are good is a good idea too. Okay, now there's something, have you guys noticed this? Avoid expensive junk food. Like how about a little bag of chips for $5? Oh, these are Japanese chips. You can get the bigger bag at Dollar Tree for $1.25. So even on this kefir, it's incredibly expensive, and I wouldn't be buying it if I wasn't trying to control my consumption of sugar and carbs. Yogurt is cheaper, and then you can make your own. Greek yogurt, $5 peach teas at 7-Eleven. They're really good, but they're 16 ounces for $5, and then you get the Bubbas with them. And then, like the good waters are $3.50 for a liter, but those are good, but they're too expensive. So think about the kefirs for $6.99. Okay, I found them cheaper at Aldi's, and I found them cheaper at Grocery Outlet, but I went to Grocery Outlet and then they didn't have any, and then Aldi's was too far away, so I just bought the kefir that I really needed for $6.99. But think about how incredibly expensive that is when you can buy the liters. I think it's 4 cups of milk, and this is 4 cups for $7, or the milk, the shelf-stable milk, for $1.25. So you could get almost 5 of them. Okay, now, so avoid expensive junk food. One of the things to avoid is buying too much food. I think people are doing that, you know, hoarding it. I know I have a lot of excess food and I will eat it, you know, just like my meat. I had that in the freezer for quite a while, and then the day comes, you know. And then another thing is, like, they give you the packages and it's enough for a family of 4 and there's only 1 of you. Those packaged meals are pretty good. Those rice and pasta, half, and then you can reheat half. So preparing more than can be eaten, and then it sits in the refrigerator and it's no good. And so then another thing is, like, when you buy these fruits and these vegetables and they go bad, that's why a lot of people just buy frozen. Like, a lot of the bodybuilders buy frozen. Even canned is not that much less nutritious than fresh. Of course, fresh is better, but for food storage, you want cans. And so if you go to frozen, you're never going to be wasting. If you go to pickling, like the pickle beets, they're in my refrigerator ready for my salads. Next time I might want to eat some. Once I realized that my skin would clear up if I staved off the sugar and the carbs, I said, I will do it, because my skin was rotten. And your skin is a good indication of your brain. And I thought, wow, that is just scary. And carefully inspect bottles for the bottle that is the fullest. The bottle, okay, these, this Diet Coke is a lot cheaper and it's good. From Ralph's, I think this was about $1 than the name brand one. And the number of items, like when I was looking at the cucumbers, I took a minute to inspect the cucumbers and get the best package of cucumbers. Okay, now I want to mention about when I bought the chicken legs. Let me see if I can find, oh, I hate to open this thing. You guys know why. All right, I don't know if I can find it. I might have put it in the other freezer. But I bought these chicken legs at Ralph's, and they were absolutely huge. And so you would have 2 chicken legs as opposed to 3. So trying to find the biggest pieces, and if you get the large eggs, they're only a few more cents, and then you can go with 1 egg as opposed to 2. And then on the fruits, if it's a bag, I like to get the smaller ones, but if it's by the piece, I want to get the larger ones. So then we want, another thing that's difficult is when something is either not quite enough or too much. Okay, this size is too much, and usually about this much goes flat. But the medium is not exactly enough. So that's another way to get us buying the large size. Low-cost food that is not too cheap to eat, that I eat all the time. Bacon and eggs, that's good if you're, I find the bacon on sale. Chicken, the legs, hamburger, I try to get $1 for a quarter pound. Canned fish. Okay, I want to mention, this is much better than sardines. And this is enough for an entire meal if you have some bread or some crackers. And then I was looking for stuff and I found fish and chips. I go, yeah, that makes, why not get a bag of fries at Dollar Tree and some fish fillets? Beans, okay, I mentioned to you guys that I wanted to show you this. Okay, so what I did is I packed my food up. And so what I want to do is take enough out for a month. This is peppermint tea from Walmart. Oh, I want to show you guys something. See the rose? Oh, I got this out of my backyard. I grew this. Last year I bought this little rose bush and I go, oh, it's too expensive. It's $9.98. It was about this big. And so it had a rose. And so today I went shopping at the thrift store looking, this is a cute little painting, looking for something cheery like this, and I couldn't find any, but I was looking. Okay, now beans, the cans. So I took out enough for a month. I took out black beans. I took out, these are probably the best for me. What's good about these baked beans is you can make toast with baked beans and eggs. That's a good cheap meal. Ranch beans, so if I make one of those, what's good about these are 3.5. So technically 2 cans should be enough for a week. But if you have some kind of hamburgers or hot dogs, those are good. And then ranchero beans. So I use those just like refried beans. I don't remember where I bought those. So I'm saying 1 can of beans per week. And then what I did was I bought rice, the good stuff. Okay, so now they're reporting a rice shortage in Japan. So we want to get the good rice, get a couple more, I'd say 10 pounds. So that is my, for a month, my beans. So I took those out and I'll put them in the cupboard. Okay, so beans and rice, pasta, oatmeal. Okay, I got this from Rocky Ingram. This really works for me. 1 package of oatmeal. And then I discovered that the granola at Ralph's is $3.49. So I got reduced. And so you cook your package, you sprinkle this granola on top. So this one was $3.49 by Ralph's. And that one is 14 ounces. And I got this one marked down 11 ounces for $2.99. So the Ralph's brand's good. I already ate some. And then some milk. So that's a good meal. And so I'm keeping my eye out. This was 10 packages for 99 cents. Or you can just use regular. You can make your own granola too. Okay. So pasta, oatmeal, peanut butter. So if you make fry bread. Now I'm going to be doing this not while I'm on the carnivore diet, but this fry bread, I showed you when I made them about this big and about this wide, and I put peanut butter, jam. But what I want to do is make this fry bread and make the dough a little firmer and then roll it out very thin like a tortilla. And then I want to try to make myself a quesadilla with the fry bread or beans and cheese. So let me give you this. So you're never going to be out of bread. Never. Not as long as you live. You're just going to, you can make this with water, milk, whey, wheat flour, regular flour. You just need baking, powder and salt. That's it. And you can also make some pretty tasty donuts. You know, just make them little and put them in some powdered sugar and some cinnamon. Okay, pasta, oatmeal, peanut butter, sweet potatoes, and potatoes. And then for the bread, I have flour tortillas. The cheapest place to buy tortillas these days is Dollar Tree. French bread from Walmart, and they have it sliced now. Now, I read, and I don't doubt this since I've been shopping at Aldi's, that your best buy is the medium slice, $1.56 at Aldi's, crackers and fry bread. And then dairy, like cottage cheese, yogurt, eggs are expensive, but the cheapest place is Walmart. So get a copy of this. Okay, and so today I went to the thrift store and I was looking for a little painting. I couldn't find it, but I did find something awesome. I found these awesome sunglasses. The minute I looked at them, I knew these were good sunglasses. And so I got myself a nice pair of sunglasses. I like 2 pair. And then I had some Ralph Lauren sunglasses. And I have, so I'm going to take them up and get them adjusted. These are LV dupes. I like black and I like a brown. And then these are just cute. See, it has a little buckle. So I was working on my wardrobe, so I'm set for sunglasses. I'm set for purses. I'll buy a couple pairs of shoes. And they say one of the accessories that you really, really want is a good watch. Well, it just so happens that I sell watches. So I have purses, shoes, watches. I sell costume jewelry, so I'm pretty well set. I think I'm going to buy the clothes discount instead of the thrift store this time. Maybe. I haven't decided for sure. Okay, now I wanted to tell you guys, this. Okay, so if you go to the Augustus Caesar diet, rustic bread with pine nuts, cheese, small fishes, so you have your kipper snacks, figs or any kind of dry fruit or trail mix. But in place of the fish, you can substitute eggs, soup, egg soup or fish, and then you can make a quesadilla with your fry bread. Or you can make toast and peanut butter. So instead of the rustic bread with pine nuts, you would have bread and peanut butter. So you learn these cheap meals and then just adjust them to what you have. And then, so you have your 4 ounces of meat, rice. I make 3 tablespoons uncooked, beans, 1/3 can, and vegetables like a small salad. When I go off the carnivore, I'll go to a plate of food, not too big. And you can also substitute hot dogs for this. Instead of small fishes, it would be hot dogs. So it would be bread with pine nuts, cheese, and then if you make whey, or if you make cottage cheese, that's cheese. Just heat your milk. You can use shelf-stable milk. I usually do about 2 cups, and I heat it to almost boiling. I put in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Lemon juice, or like half a lemon, or 2 tablespoons vinegar. I stir it around. I cover it. Then I strain it, and I use the whey for the fry bread. And then I have cottage cheese. So if you make the fry bread like a flour tortilla with your beans and use your cheese, and then maybe some salsa would be good. So I've been getting the really good salsa at Dollar Tree. And then Rocky Ingram, weightlifter, small fishes, rice, and beans. So we have sardines, we have oysters, we have clams, we have salmon, we have tuna, we have beans, and we have rice. So those are cheap meals that are not too expensive and come out of the stockpile. And if you're older, I am becoming suspicious that a lot of this stuff is carbs and sugar. So maybe, I'm not saying go on an extreme carnivore diet, although I feel much better on it. Maybe just cut carbs and sugar. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all. Bye.